Ram Ram, it is very difficult to speak in front of all this August gathering. Prashantji, I should rather listen to you than speak in front of your Azad Sahab. And I enjoyed the conversation which I had next to you, Azad Sahab. I'll remember that. Dear friends, it's my privilege to stand in front of you on this particular day when we talk about how do we make this country a superpower, transformation which will require help of each of you. Before I speak on this particular topic which is relevant, I would like to quote one quote which we have written in the book when we were writing the book. So when we were writing the book, Lieutenant General Shekatkar, who is my co-author, he quoted me something which I would like to repeat here, and then I'll explain to you and how does this help us in today's conversation. He said, Ashvaneva, Gajaneva, Sihaneva, Chaneva, Ajat Putra Balidata, Devo Durbal Khataka. Those who may not understand Sanskrit, let me just explain to them. Before we wrote the book on the data sovereignty and how the journey of data will happen in 2019, when this slok came up, I said, what is that relevant with the data? And then he said, Ashvaneva, have you ever heard any religion, any faith, any tribe or any country where horses are sacrificed? Answer is no. Horses are not sacrificed because they are useful. Gajaneva, do you ever hear that elephants are sacrificed? Big neck, you can't sacrifice that. No tribe, no culture, no religion does that. Siha neva cheneva, a lion, tiger, predator cannot be done it, otherwise they will attack you. तो आपको खा जाएगा. The second last line of the shlok is very important. And then the last line. Second last line is Ajat Putra, which means बकरे का बेटा. तो कहते हैं ना बकरे की माँ कब तक खैर बनाएगी. Ajat Putra Balidata, that is that he will be sacrificed. General Shekatkar and General Patil, who are my co-authors, both were DGMOs of their respective time. Fantastic son of this soil. They said, Durbal, last line is very important. Devo Durbal Khataka. Even God will not forgive who is weak and the meek. So if this country has to become powerful, we have to become powerful in all the aspects else. Forget about our neighbors, forget about our competitors, even God will not serve us. Let me give an example. We rose up 2 days back reading a news about how deep Ukraine went and hit Russia. Now see, if you compare the last 2 years, we could see who was on the receiving end, and with this one single strike, things have changed. Why was PSU formed? Why were they there? We all know the story. We can always read that in a lot of papers which are there, and even the anchor ma'am has spoken about that particular part. But one thing which we have to understand is if India has to grow, the growth propellant will come from every side of the society. One among them will be PSU. I was sitting with Dada Sahab and he gave me an example that when he was young, he had to go to rationing shop, where he had to change the course of the seeds which were, the grains which were given. He wanted to change it from rice to wheat, and the trouble which he had to go through that. And then he said, today it is different story. Today the kids can go and walk in and get the things done because there is a power of social media and power of knowledge which is there, the information which is available, and which is true, sir. In today's life, we will have these challenges there. Let me give you 2-3 examples of my experience, and if it helps. In 2014, when the government came in, we were all lucky to be part of the appointments which were there, and I was appointed as a governing council member on the prestigious CRS, the PSU of Railways. And as a governing council member, I had a chance to interact with the minister multiple times. The then minister Suresh Prabhu comes from Mumbai, and I also come from Mumbai, born and born. And he asked me one thing in Marathi, Kadi railway madhe pravas kela hai? I mean, that means, have you ever traveled in the local trains? And of course, every Mumbaikar has traveled in local trains. And then the second question he said, did you ever fall while you were traveling in the train? Fall? So he said, when there is an announcement that the platform has been changed, did you ever face this situation? I said, yes, multiple times. And did you have stumbled? I said, I did fall, but at least I had stumbled. Yes, there were some small, minor brushes on the leg also. He said, how many people die? How many people get permanently injured because of this platform change? Now just see this particular conversation and relate it with today, and then you realize why I'm talking to you about this particular incident. And we started studying. Now nobody reports this particular incidents to the police, and either it has been reported to the railways. So we may not have the real-time data that how many people had injury because of the platform change. Then we had informal survey. We started talking to people, understood that this impacts a lot. Then he said, आप तो IT से आते हैं, डेटा से हैं, डेटा के ऊपर इतनी अच्छी बुक भी लिख रहे हैं, कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या डेटा को लेके? How do we do something? And then the role of PSU comes in. We wanted to inform people that how can we save people's life, we can make people's life better when there is a platform change. Number two, we all have sisters, daughters, mothers who travel in railway. I'm sure each of you have traveled in railway. How many of you have ever traveled in railway? And the station is not always the starting point or the end point, and you get in the train in the mid points also, right? Many places. And just think that if the train is going to come at 3 o'clock in the morning, so what time will you leave your house? You will leave a couple of minutes early before the arrival. Then, and if it is a lone young girl who is going to travel from your family, there is a fear in the mind, right? Safety about the girl, the daughter, the sister who is there. You go to the station, if you think that only you are worried, it's not the case. Even the GRP and the RPF who is there, they are also worried that if there is a lady passenger, they also are little vigil, because it's their duty to protect them. Why am I giving this example? This pain, this fear couples if the train in place of coming at 3 o'clock comes at morning 9 o'clock. तब आपको मन में बड़ा दुख होता है कि पहले बता दिए होते तो घर से टाइम से निकलते, रात की जो परेशानी थी वो भी नहीं होती थी. Now take these two problems. One, you stumble on a platform and will you be injured? Will it lead to loss of GDP? So don't see it as individual case of you getting hurt and not going to office, but club it up. How many thousands and millions of man hours are lost when somebody stumbles there? Two, what will happen if there is an untoward incident with anybody? Forget about only one gender, but anybody on the platform when the train is going to come late. Can we club these two problems and create a solution out of that? And the data gave us this thing. And we thought of coming out with an app which tells you where the train is there, where is the coach which is going to come. And today I'm sure you all can see where the coach comes exactly plus or minus 3 meters. Was it simple? So if you ask somebody who is not aware of security and the safety and the sovereign rights, may say that कि वो तो कोई भी multinational आजकल मैप में दे देता है. We all use multiple apps which are there, which gives you a position. But ask DDG, NIC, ask somebody who is sitting in that position, is it possible for us to use this kind of crowdsourced location for a railway? One, there are technical challenges. Railway goes in linear position, not as the regular vehicle which is there. Two, railway is not only about taking passengers from point A to point B. We also have trade. We have our own goods which go up. Apart from trade and the goods which travel on the railway, I'm sure each of you know that more than 8% of the railway utilization is done by strategic forces. We transport important goods, currency notes. Now, do you want to give your linear position? Do you want to give your manifest to your competitors, your not so friendly nations, or friendly nations who are friendly today, but tomorrow may try to dictate terms? So you'll have to come out with solutions which are homegrown. And then the word came up as data sovereignty. How do you help you? And this is a big thing. Lakhs of kilometers of tracks, 66,000 plus locomotives, more than 3 crore passengers traveling, more than 30,000 tons of goods been traveling on every day on the tracks. Then the importance of PSU comes in. Then the importance of those PSU who can deliver this kind of tomorrow's technology comes in. And then you see that today it has been delivered. If you see the size of delivery which was done in identifying where the coach is exactly, if you work backward, then you will understand the work which has gone by these PSUs which are there. PSUs help you not only to give you this kind of size of business, size of the scale of services which has been demanded, also gives you the security and the safety. So I see PSUs as to be one of the propellants of the growth which India requires, not only on the economical side, but also on the security side, the sovereign side. If you think that Operation Sindoor is over, the Prime Minister has repeated multiple times, all the people have repeated, it is not. I'm sure, Prashantji, as DDG, you may be facing a lot of challenges. So while the uniformed soldiers fight on the borders, they protect us and we salute them, your people also fight here. And when I was on the Governing Council of Railways, I could understand that, because every day there is a challenge. I would like to ask this August gathering today, have you ever faced a challenge called as duplicate sale of tickets? आप कभी रेलवे में गए हैं ट्रेन से प्रवास करने के लिए और कभी ऐसा पता चला कि किसी और पैसेंजर ने कहा कि ये सीट मेरी है? Have you ever faced this? Do you think our neighbors are not interested in selling our tickets? Our neighbors are more than eager to sell our tickets. Who are the people behind this? So there is a team which helps us. Now these teams can be from PSU, this team can be from the private organizations, and here is an importance of cyber security. Organizations which help us to identify, create data resilience, create data safety, create data security, and also those organizations which can create honeypots and let us know in advance what are the sources, which is the gateways where the challenges will come through that. I thought I should speak about the importance, but I would like to also speak about the opportunity which came up because of this conflict which we had with our neighbor and the conflicts which we see in the world. The war in tomorrow which we are going to face will be limited to few hours on the border. So what we saw a couple of weeks back, a limited engagement which we had in the western border. But the engagements which are limited in nature when they are kinetic will be unlimited when they are non-kinetic. And people sitting in this room will be always challenged. They will have to come up with solutions which will protect our data, which will help us to run smoothly, seamlessly. While doing this, we will also have to create solutions which will protect us from the neighbor who is aggressive. I hope you understand this word. We should have solutions which will help us to counter the aggression of our neighbors. Sir, Ajay sir, I was fortunate I was sitting next to you and learning from you. He is very talented and you should listen to him. They are into business of agriculture, and sir, I had an opportunity to be the secretary of one of the unique agriculture college of Mumbai. Mumbai only has one agriculture college, Uttan Krishi Sanshodhan Sanstha, and I was elected twice the secretary for 10 years. Today we have IoTs and we use industrial machines to cultivate our land. Just think about your adversaries coming to know about what kind of soil you are going to plug, when are you plugging the soil, what are you growing, and what will be the yield after a couple of months. Can they manipulate the market on the basis of this predictive data? And that can be an economical war against you. With IoTs, all our tractors, tillers, machines which are being used, that can be tracked with lat long, exact lat long position where it is there. How tough is this soil? So I had an opportunity to talk to Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia. He comes from 6 Para, former DGMO, very famous. If you just search him for Operation Cactus, one of the heroes who landed in a neighboring country to protect the president. So if you read about him, he'll tell you. He told me about one incident without naming the location. He said that they were using some dredging machines. They were drilling hole in the tunnel. And the machine conked off. The machines can always go wrong. So their mechanics tried, then their engineers tried, and finally they gave up that the machine is not going to work. So what do you do when the machine does not work? You go back to the OEM, you go back to the manufacturer supplier and say that the machine is not functioning. They expected that their engineers will come and help them to repair. Here comes an email to them that the payment has not been done. Hence, we have stopped the machine. Sitting overseas thousands of kilometers away, if the OEM can manipulate your machines, it also tells you the challenge which we'll be facing. So the need of indigenous inventions, indigenous requirement of developing large machines, small machines, data sets is urgent and important. I'm sure with this large population of 140 plus crore people, we will think about various solutions which will protect us in the sovereign way. As I said, industrialization can be protected, but we also have to talk about the Antodaya, the last man who is there. And I still remember one conversation you and I had, Rajat sir, is that those days when PSUs were functioning, I remember we all kids going and standing in the queue to collect our piece of the thing. Fortunately, with IT and the data sets available, now direct benefit transfers help you to distribute this without having any kind of seamless thing. All of this will require us to come together, create opportunities of IT, but at the same time, companies, organizations, and especially the SMEs, small and medium-sized organizations, which can have that benefit of being agile, faster turnover, they should come out with solutions. With that, solutions will help large PSUs to deliver their services to the masses. I'm sure the whole day will be listening to too many people. I have a lot of things to spare. Generally, they say the first speaker has the advantage, and many times he also boasts. I would like to do that. Rather, I'd like to end my quote with two lines which my father used to teach me when we used to travel together. And I hope I could translate the meaning of that to you. He used to always say, निर्माणों के पावन युग में चरित्र निर्माण न भूले, स्वार्थ साधना की आंधी में वसुधा का कल्याण न भूले. So while you all are powerful people, you are CEOs, directors, responsible people with a lot of budgets in your hand, you can change the course of the history. You can make India do different things. While you do things, remember that you are there not only to earn your personal bread and butter, but to serve this great nation. Vasudha ka kalyan na bole. Make this country proud. I'm sure we all together can make our country a superpower in next couple of decades. Thank you, the organizers, for inviting me, Shivani ji, her team. And thank you, everybody who is sitting in this room, who gave me a patience hearing. Bharat Mata ki jai.